We good?
Yep.
Come in.
Hi, Brett. Bill again from All American. Nice to meet you again. This is my colleague Chris.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Good to see you.
My
Welcome.
name is-
Absolutely.
Great.
Come join me at the big table.
Yes, I love the big table. So I still want to confirm we're good for 20 minutes today. Is that correct?
Yeah, is that good?
That's
Yep.
perfect
Okay.
for us. So I'm going to keep the
Yeah,
timer.
it's tough day today. So.
Tough day, yes. So I'm going to keep the timer if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. And before we get started, Chris and I would love to give you our business card. So if you have any questions or concerns after this meeting, feel free to shoot us a text or email.
Look at these. Laminated too.
Yes, laminated. Well, I do remember in our last meeting, we talked about how you were a big sports fan of FSU. We also talked about
Go Noles!
Go Noles. We also talked about the big FSU versus Miami basketball game that we both saw. So I just wanted to ask you, are you excited for the new football season with the new recruits coming in?
We are. Went to the spring game, so we're real excited.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
Looks good. Looks good.
Yes. Well, again, Brett, thank you so much for meeting with us today. What I really want to accomplish in the next 20 minutes is to go over the challenges, concerns we talked about in the last meeting.
Okay.
And then Chris and I will show you a brief presentation of the new insurance program we came up for you to hopefully get IQL covered, mitigate your risk, and just to only protect your business against anything that might hinder the growth that you guys are recently experiencing.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm going to pass it over to Chris and let him tell you about his experience with manufacturing coverages.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks for inviting again. Brett, my name is Christopher Sakana, and I am our main manufacturing specialist here at All American Insurance. Brett, within my 2 years of brokerage experience, I've become well versed in the Panhandle, building a large clientele list, as well as a reputation with a lot of local clients.
Right?
2 clients of mine who you might recognize are Alex's Automotive Manufacturing, as well as Managed Manufacturing. Brought them on 2 years ago, first couple months into the business, and they go into those ever since.
Know Alex very well.
Awesome,
So
fantastic.
you wouldn't mind me contacting Alex
I would
and
not.
talking about you and
Exactly.
your colleague here?
So a great thing about Alex and his CFO, they both agreed to be a reference for us.
Oh, wow.
So if you do have any questions about, why they made the switch to All American, as well as, kind of what they think and why they plan to stay with us for as long as they
You know,
will.
Alex is a tough critic, so if he's making a recommendation, you must be doing something right.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear. But again, Brett, although I'm well versed in the Panhandle, every business has their own issues that make them unique. And Raylan and I have been working closely together to ensure that we've come through all of your policies and coverage and that you're as covered as humanly possible. So again, we're very excited to show you the policies and programs we've created for IQL today.
Yes, Brett, we're super excited. So can I jump right in and discuss the issue we talked about in our last meeting?
That's fine. That's
All right,
fine.
perfect. Well, I did bring a little visual for you today.
I put the glasses on.
So you see on this piece of paper, there's 4 broken light bulbs. That kind of represent the challenges and concerns IQL has been currently facing with their insurance program. So our goal today is to get those light bulbs fixed and IQL up and running. Yeah, so the first kind of concern we talked about in the last meeting was outsourcing contractual liability. Chris and I found a lot of exposure within this area because your coverage only extends within 100 feet of your premise. And not only that, but the company you are outsourcing to is responsible for any losses that can happen during transit. So I just wanted to ask if this is still a concern you guys are facing today.
There's no doubt. I mean, he's the sole source.
Yes.
So that's a concern.
Exactly, all right, make sure to highlight that. And the second one we kind of talked about was post-liquor liability. I know IQL rents out skyboxes frequently to guests serving alcohol, so there's a lot of exposure if a client were to have too many brewskis, one day. So you had concerns with any bodily damage or property damage that could happen. So I just wanted to ask if this is still a concern you guys are facing.
Yeah, I mean, we host a lot of events. I mean, we have a lot of clients, and we're trying to get more clients, right? Just like you guys are today. And so, yeah, we use that skybox quite a bit.
Okay, and then kind of the third point we talked about was workers' comp. I know IQL only has 10 full-time employees right now, so you never really had a file for that. But as Chris and I go deeper into that, you guys are going to add more employees to your staff because IQL is growing at a faster rate. So you're just concerned that if an employee were to get hurt in a work-related incident. So would you say this is still a concern you guys are facing today?
There's no doubt. I mean, we're a small team. You take one of those pieces out, it's a concern.
Exactly. And kind of the fourth and final point we talked about was cybersecurity. This has been a recent concern due to, the current events that happened with Russia. So you were kind of concerned if your employees' information were to get leaked due to data breaches. So I just want to ask if this was still a concern the business is facing.
You guys brought that to my attention. I was like, man, I'm a small business owner. What's cyber risk? I mean, I'm manufacturing lights.
Exactly.
Come on, and now you're telling me that I have this exposure. And so, yeah, I mean, I certainly want to take a look at that.
All right, perfect. And now I kind of want to turn over the floor to you and talk about any other challenges, concerns we haven't discussed thus far that you're currently experiencing.
Well, since our last meeting, guys, as we have been around a long time, we have now been asked to go in to some of our current clients that we've installed the lighting systems in, and to retrofit them for LED lights, okay? Well, as luck would have it, we did an installation on a canopy for a good client of ours, and during a storm, very severe storm, the canopy caught fire and burned down the convenience store and a couple cars. We think it was an act of God. That's what my carrier is saying. And of course, the carrier for the convenience store saying it's the retrofitting of the lights
Okay,
that have caused this loss.
okay,
And so we're looking at a lot of money,
yes, 100%. So this
So-
is a current issue you guys are doing.
current issue. And so the concern is, how does that change what you guys are going to tell me today?
Exactly,
And how would you handle a situation like this? From all Americans' perspective.
yes,
Sure.
100%.
So that's-
Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we're going to dive deeper into that for the presentation.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes.
look forward to it then.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And so you really do see a beneficial relationship starting here. I feel like all of America can really help the growth and stability of IQL. So mind if I dive in with the little presentation that Chris
Yeah.
created for you?
Wow, visual, visual,
Oh, these help.
lost my word there.
So going back
Everybody
to,
fund me.
No.
so going back to our broken light bulb example, the goal is today to get that light bulb up and running and fixed, which kind of coincides with the program that me and Chris came up for you today. So how does that sound?
That sounds
All
good.
right, perfect. So I'm gonna pass
Because
on.
those aren't my broken light bulbs on next sheet, okay?
That's
Just making sure.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, hey, I understand the first point that Raylan mentioned was outsourcing contractual liability.
Right.
You expressed your concern with the extent of your business property's coverage, as well as the logistic company, how much do they cover when your products are in transport? So, to start off, you do have the industry average coverage of 100 feet within your premises for your business property, which means as long as your business property isn't leaving in a company vehicle or in a company way outside of those 100 feet, it is covered. So as you outsource to your current logistics company, once they do pick up your products and take them on the road, they should cover the rest. Okay, so with that being said, they should.
Okay.
Exactly. So with that being said, I understand your current logistical company was a family friend of your in-laws as well. From what you told me last meeting, they started around the same time as IQL. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Fantastic. You guys still have a great relationship today? Well, perfect. We'd love to hear that. So we did end up shooting them a call. We were able to talk to them and really express, our concerns for the coverage of your products. And we said, hey, can we kind of take a look at your policies and see if there's anything we can give you guys some tips or recommendations on and just ensure that Brett and IQL are covered.
Okay.
So they were able to send us over some policies, and this is kind of what we got from them. So inside the state of Florida, they are airtight. That's where they were founded. That's where they ship most of their products. If your products are with them in any of their vehicles in the state of Florida, they're covered. The only issue comes is when they leave the state of Florida. Outside of Texas and California, we have found that they haven't completely filed for coverage in those other 47 states, which means that there was an accident and your products were damaged, you would not see any compensation. Again, that was a concern to us. I'm assuming that's going to be a concern to you.
Wow, didn't know that.
So again, we left them with some recommendations. We gave them some tips on how to best improve their policies. But at the end of the day, right, we're not their insurance guy. We can't give them, we can't make them do anything. So it's almost as if the ball's in their court at this point, and we just have to sit here waiting, or so we thought. So Brett, I know we came here today to talk about insurance, but do you mind if I break off for a second and talk a little bit about financials?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we sat down with our current transportation team and specialists, and we kind of reviewed your company and your plan. We see how you outsource your products, and we see as you're growing, your current logistics company is not. What we've noticed is that as the size of your loads have increased, the frequency of your shipping loads, they're not able to support that increased size with their small trucks. What we're seeing is that either A, they're sending out double the amount of trucks, or B, they are delayed on their shipping requirements, and that's costing you two things. A, it's costing you money because when they double the trucks, you're actually getting paid for double the cost, as well as your reputation. We started to see that your buyers were expressing complaints due to your products not arriving on time. So Brett, again, I know we were here to talk insurance, but what we did is we sat down, we mapped out a 1 year, 3 year, and a 5 year plan on how to best improve your outsourcing and your logistics operation. Are you open to hearing about that?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, Brown, we start with our 1 year plan. So our 1 year plan is more of a temporary fix to a permanent problem What that is to connect you with some clients of ours that are larger logistics companies. And what they can provide is they can provide discounted rates to the current logistics company you're with, as they have larger trucks that are used to going larger miles. And again, as you continue to grow at the amazing growth rate you've had, they have trucks that are larger that can go farther distances as well.
Okay.
And also looking through their policies, they are covered anywhere in the United States, Canada, and any U.S. territories. So we can assure that your products will be covered from any damage to Brett. How does that sound to you?
Sounds good.
And could you see yourself implementing this in the future?
Well, yeah, I mean, as we grow, I told you this, I've got to expand. I've got to think outside the box, and I've got to find other partners that are going to grow with me.
Exactly.
100%.
Awesome. Love to hear that, Brett. We'll see again, as I mentioned, that is a temporary solution to a permanent problem.
Okay.
So, what's the permanent solution? In our mind, the permanent solution is a private transportation plan. And what that is bringing your outsourcing operations in-house. So you and IQL would actually do the product transportation yourselves. Now we understand that seems like a big step. You guys are starting.
Man, you got, listen, hold on here now.
Now we understand you guys are starting to take growth steps, and as we look through kind of the best ways for you to continue to succeed and grow at such an exponential rate, what we noticed was if you had your own in-house transportation operations, that you would not just see a decreased cost overall, but B, you'd be able to ensure the coverage of your products and ensure that they get there to your buyers on time. So there's three ways we can do that. The first way is obtaining your own transit vehicles. In the market currently, there is a supply chain shortage. They seemingly just can't make the chips for the trucks or the cars anymore. And right, I don't know if you've tried to buy a new car recently.
It's crazy.
It's
right now.
impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. So a couple things we've done. I mean, first we made this a 3-year plan, hoping that the market can bounce back in the next 3 years and the chips start being produced at a better rate. But if not, we have connections with both private and commercial lenders who can provide 100% financing on those trucks. And what that offers you is a small annual repayment of those loans to really save you more capital than what you're currently spending on outsourcing. And we do have an insurance for you that the overall cost that you're going to pay in salary to your 2 new drivers, as well as the annual repayment on the loan, will be lower than what you're paying now for your outsourcing operations. How does that sound?
Sounds good. So you're willing to share that with me?
I am completely willing to share that with you.
Okay.
Again, we're here to talk insurance, but we just care about you and IQL and how to best, continue to foster growth with that company. So again, the second point would be to supply you with some trained drivers. We have some great connections, and as well as we have some in-house loss control and safety training for these drivers. We also have the All-American Advantage. So something unique to us, we actually send them a survey. We call it our Predictive Modeling Index. And so we send it over to them, they answer it out, and when we get the results, we can see, what makes these drivers tick, what wakes them up in the morning, and what gets them going for the day. And we can decide if they're the best people to have your products on the road. How does that sound to you?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty awesome, right?
Predictive modeling.
Yeah.
Man.
So
Insurance.
fantastic. And the final point I'd like to touch on is to ensure your products are covered. What we like to add is inland marine insurance to the overall private transportation plan. And realistically, this just protects your products in transit, protects your products during loading and the unloading process, as well as during theft, disappearance, and fire. And kind of one of my personal favorites in the inland marine is it actually covers delays. So if you were shipping to a buyer, let's say in May, and there was an ice storm and the road was completely iced over, your trucks couldn't move, and let's say your products arrived a week late, what would happen is your buyer might charge you more for the inconvenience, while your inland marine insurance would cover that. That extra fee. So again,
And I don't currently have that, right?
you do not. No.
Exactly. And like you mentioned before, you said the can't be caught on fire, so that is what the inland marine's gonna do because it covers fire. So just adding that into that.
Awesome. Well, now I'm going to pass it back off to Raylan to continue.
Okay, going back to the main 4 pay points we talked about in the last week, like I said, we're adding post-it reliability to your policies because we currently didn't have that because, you're just afraid and concerned if a client were to walk out intoxicated. So things from bodily injuries to property damage will be covered by All-American. You won't have to worry about that. And you can enjoy any basketball or football game without concern. And then kind of the second point we talked about was workers' comp. Like I said, you guys are currently adding that because you're building your employee base. So if an employee were to suffer from a work-related injury or an illness, things for medical expenses, disability income, ongoing care costs, or God forbid, death and survivor benefits will be covered by us. Do you see yourself implementing this in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta protect the workers.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna pass it off to Chris to tell him a little about the cybersecurity program we created for you.
And also one more point on the workers' compensation. I understand capital is important to you. As a growing business, you want as much capital lying around as you possibly can. So a cool part of workers' compensation is if you were to drug test your employees, I understand you have a small operation, around 10 employees currently. I'm sure you know them all personally. And they all pass, you would get a 5% safety credit back of your overall insurance program.
All right, that may be a little tough, but we'll have to talk about that.
Just something that we got.
All right.
For the future.
Keep it in the back of our mind.
Fantastic. The final point I want to touch on today is cybersecurity. I know you expressed that you weren't completely sure, especially in the past, why you needed it, but now you're starting to see kind of some increased demand for cybersecurity. So really to explain to you how important it is, what we do is we want to mitigate the possibility of a cyber attack. Like, yes, we want to add a policy to ensure that you are protected with the aftermath of one, but our priority is to make sure they don't happen in the first place. So what we do is we'll send our IT team in, they'll scour your websites and databases and ensure that they are secure. So if there was to be a cyber attack, there would be extra layers of protection there that would hopefully discourage the hackers to continue.
Chris, is there a charge for this, or do you guys do this as?
So this is complimentary. This is provided by All American. We just want to ensure that our clients are as protected as possible.
Okay.
Finally, we would like to add on a cybersecurity policy. There's a couple points that come with that. What we want to do is we want to ensure that if you were to have a cybersecurity breach, that you were able to connect to a support team who can assist you along the recovery path. And one of our best connections is with Travelers. Travelers and I have worked very closely with manufacturing clients in the past, and they have a great cybersecurity helpline. So the moment you notice a breach, you can call them. They'll guide you almost like a 911 operator performing CPR. They'll guide you through the steps on how to bring IQL back to the surface and how to handle any of the cybersecurity issues. So we love them. And a quick point on cybersecurity: if you were to add two-factor authentication, just something to keep in mind to your websites, especially with employees logging in. Not only would it decrease the risk of a cyber attack, but it's also now mandatory to get cyber insurance. So, great. I'm going to pass it over to Raymond currently.
So, Brett, we did cover a lot of information today, including the new transportation plan, plus the 4 paid points we discussed in the previous meeting. We know that insurance can seem very complicated, but this is what we're here for. Chris and I are a dedicated team of experts who do this every day for companies such as IQL. So, with that being said, I just wanted to ask you if you are familiar with the broker record letter, what that is.
No, what is that?
All right.
Broker record
letter.
Okay.
I know, it's a tongue twister.
It is.
So kind of touching on what a BOR is, a broker record letter. What a broker letter does, the dictionary, says that it's used to legally establish a relationship between a broker, policyholder, and an insurance company. So kind of to put it in perspective, I think you mentioned that you had 4 other agents that you're currently meeting with.
We did.
So if all 5 of us were to go into the marketplace and try to find the best deals and the best coverage for you, what would happen is we'd actually be limited to each a fifth of the marketplace. So instead of pitching the carriers against each other to get you the best rates and the best coverage, it actually pitches the agents against each other. And realistically, you're going to have coverage gaps. You're not going to see the results that you want. But when you do sign a BOR with All American, what happens is the next day, we immediately go into the insurance marketplace, negotiate on your behalf, pitch the carriers against each other, and find you the best rate and the best coverage that we possibly can. At the end of the day, this is the way that we found the most success. In a way, to show you kind of how this works is with the timeline. So going forward, we have an 8-step timeline. I understand we're 8 weeks out from your renewal. So each one of these steps would be kind of a 1-week process. So the first step is executing the BOR, getting that signature, and allowing us to go into the insurance marketplace and start negotiating for you. The second step is to have a kickoff meeting with All American, kind of the team behind us, as well as IQL yourself and any insurance members that you'd like to bring along with you. The third step would be to review all of your current information and documentation for your insurance program to make sure we're all on the same page. Step 4, we'd love to schedule a pre-renewal strategy meeting with yourself and All American. Again, to ensure we're on the same page and we have the same objectives in mind going forward. Step 5, we'd like to finalize your renewal decisions. Step 6, we'd like to begin negotiating and finalize those negotiations with the market. Step 7, we'd like to present a detailed proposal, especially with the renewal market, to yourself and IQL. And the final step would be to finalize the insurance decision, get that in, and show you, your new coverage.
Wow, that's an 8-step.
An 8-step
process, yeah. Well, this timeline just really covers all the insurance solutions that Chris and I can provide too. I really do see beneficial relationship starting here, and I feel like All American can really help the growth and stability of IQL in the future. So that being said, all we have to do is sign this BOR today and get started. How did that sound?
Well, it sounds good. I really appreciate the time and effort here, but at this point, as you all know, I'm reviewing some other folks, and I want to give them the same opportunity. I understand what you're saying. I may limit the scope of what you're going to bring to the table, but I'm willing to take that chance at this point.
Okay, sounds good. Would this be a concern for you at all with the other agents?
No, I just want to treat everybody fairly.
Yes.
So just give everybody an opportunity to bring their best foot forward
Yes.
and bring me what you think, as you've done today,
Mhm.
point out things that are of concern, that are concerning of me as well.
Yes. Well, the last thing we want to do is make you feel rushed. So are you open to scheduling another meeting to go over our products more in depth with you?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, perfect. How does Monday at 8 a.m. sound?
7:30?
7:30. Perfect. Early guy, morning guy. All right. Well, Brett, thank you so much for being with us today, and I can't wait to talk with you in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We're still filming, so. Come on in. We're done.